I'm going to talk to you about the difference between low contact and no contact. Obviously, this is for very toxic, and toxic means harm, to do harm, something that harms. So, very toxic people that are in your life that are causing so much harm to you that you have to make a decision to either go low contact or no contact. So, what are the benefits of each? What are the differences? I think it's really important to know that because making this decision to do either of these has ramifications. So, first of all, low contact. You decide, I cannot see this person or these people. They're often family members. It could be a spouse that you are living with that you know you need to separate from, or it could be some mute, like a sister and brother-in-law, or a mother and father, or it could just be one person in that in a relationship. So you recognize, I cannot see this person as much as I am. This person is causing harm to me or to my family members, maybe my spouse, my biological children. This person is affecting my work. Maybe that person has some kind of relationship with you that affects you at work, whatever that is. So low contact. Low contact means I recognize that I need to see less of this person. So you're going to decide how much contact you can have and still be okay. Now, this might be kind of a trial and error. So you have to start off with a certain amount, and then maybe you're going to recognize, nope, that's too much. I'm going to have to do it less. The important thing is that you realize that you are going to have to be in control. If you're going low contact, you cannot allow the other person to determine how much they're going to see you. You're going to have to somehow get control. You're either going to get control through boundaries of saying, no, you can't come over, or I'll let you know when you come over, or you're going to decide that maybe you're going to move away, or you're going to change a church to get see less contact with this, have less contact with this person, or maybe somehow you're going to make a decision that's going to result in seeing that person less, and you're doing it. You're deciding and you have control. If that person still lives near you and is going to try to see more of you, then you're going to have to get really strong with saying, no, no, you can't come over. No, I'm not inviting you. No, I won't meet you for lunch, whatever that is. You are going to have to be comfortable with withstanding the pressure that you're going to get, not only from that person, but possibly from other family members and friends, that you're hurting mom, or you're being mean, or mom is distressed or upset, or you don't like the rest of the family. It could even be some retaliation from other family members saying, okay, if you're not going to see her, then we're not going to see you. Or if you're not going to include her, then we're not going to come. Okay, you have to be ready to withstand all of that and recognize that that could come, and realize, okay, I'm willing to pay that price because I need to do this for my own protection or my family's protection. The benefit of low contact is that you can decrease this person's presence in your life while not having to completely cut this person off, not having to take the responsibility of being the one who cut off the relationship. So you don't have to take on that blame. You don't have to fight with that guilt and that feeling of, I cut off my mother, or I cut off my sister, or I cut off my child. So what you're doing is you're just decreasing the amount that you've seen them. Now, you don't always have to tell the person why you're doing it. Sometimes it's a benefit to do that because it allows the person to recognize, if they can, and often they can't. Toxic people usually cannot look at themselves and see what their problems are, but it will give that person an explanation that they can at least hear and know that, okay, maybe if I change these things, I will be able to reinstate or increase the amount of time I can be in this person's life. So again, a choice of whether you want to explain or not explain. taking into consideration who this person is and if the person can process it, or if it will just cause more toxic reactivity that's going to come into your life over this person's response to that. So the benefit of that is not having to take the responsibility of cutting off completely. But then if low contact is either not working, or if low contact isn't something you're willing to do, and instead you recognize, I've got to have no contact. I have to have a time period or an indefinite amount of time, or maybe forever, where I cannot be involved with this person. I cannot have this person in my life at all. Then you are going to choose no contact. So first of all, that could happen because the person's not respecting your low contact boundaries. When you say, no, I don't want you to come over, or no, I don't want you to, do whatever it is that you're doing, the person doesn't respect your no. So you've got to cut the person off completely to take care of yourself, to protect yourself and your family. Doesn't have to be forever. It can be for a time. Again, you have a choice of whether you want to tell the person why or not, tell the person what needs to change in order to get back into your life or not. That's up to you. Again, you make a decision based on the situation. You have to be strong enough to do this and to not back down. And again, to bear any retaliation, anger, blame, resentment that comes from your other family members, or whatever it is that's going to come back to you. You've got to be able to handle your own feelings of guilt, responsibility for making the choice to cut this person out of your life. And so you got to work through that. I recommend working through as much of that as possible before you make the choice, so you know what you're getting into, and you know that you can get to a point where you feel right about your decision. The other thing is that anytime that we do what's called cut off of family members, there is still an emotional tie. There is a tie emotionally inside of you that is going to struggle. And there's going to be some cleanup that you have to do, and processing of that you have to go through. And so you've got to be willing to recognize that and be healthy about it. It might take some therapy. It might take, some a 12-step program that will help you reinforce what your ideas are of why you needed to do this, but just generally getting healthy and recognizing the aftermath of that, and to work through that, those emotional ties that are still there. Don't underestimate those. Those are really strong, and there's a lot of things that you're going to have to process. So be careful, unless you're physically in danger or the situation is really, really bad. You can take your time making this decision, and remember that you also have the option of not being the one who makes this decision. Sometimes I will recommend to a person who is looking at a very difficult relationship, and they're not happy with some of the things the other person is doing, but their heart's desire is actually to have a better relationship. This is often a parent with an adult child who is maybe not in their life, or not initiating much, or when they do initiate anything in the relationship, it's conditional or based on the parent doing a certain thing, or giving them money, or doing what the child wants. And the parent will say, I'm tired of being put down. I'm tired of being only asked to do something when I can give, only asked to see them or see my grandkids when I'm going to babysit, or when I give money, or when I do what they want me to do. And they'll say, I think I'm just going to cut off the relationship and just not do that. And I'll often say, you might want to not think about being the one who cuts it off, because then you're always going to get the blame as to, and especially if it's somebody who isn't in your life a lot, and then you make the decision to go no contact, then that person can always use you as the excuse. and say, well, I was going to make the relationship better, or I was going to start letting you see the kids more, or I was going to come out to see you where you live, but you're the one that cut it off. So be careful. If you're doing this, check your motives. We always need to go beneath the surface and check our motives. If you're doing this out of hurt, if you're doing this out of resentment, if you're doing this because of retaliation or to punish or any of those things, those are not good motives. The only motives for going no contact or low contact is that the person is toxic to you. The person is harmful. You've done everything you can to limit that. You've done what you can that might possibly change the situation. Nothing has worked. And then this is the decision that you have to make. So watch your motives, work through them. Like I said, no reason to make this as a quick decision. It needs to be a well thought out. I would say potentially get at least one other person that knows you, or a therapist that knows the situation, and talk through it and make sure that you're doing this because you need to, and that it is a healthy rather than unhealthy decision for you. So I hope this video on no contact versus low contact has helped you. And I hope you'll look at my website, changemyrelationship.com, for all of my resources, my classes, my studies, my books, my free resources. And as always, please, if you have a question, you may email me through my website and I will answer you. So, okay, thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you.